All right, so in this video, let me recap on what I said in the beginning. I said I was going to make a 23 centimeter Yagi based on this old 6-meter boom and 3D print the element holders and stuff. Well, first of all, I'm still doing that, but not with this. This will not work. Let me tell you why. So I've learned a lot. Again, this is why I took on this project. Did you know, or maybe you do know, did you know that a boom diameter on an antenna is, directly related to the frequency and design of the Yagi antenna? I don't want to say I knew that, but I didn't realize that it made that much difference or wasn't achievable at certain frequencies. So the radiation pattern, the gain, the beam width is all going to change. And actually the calculator spit out numbers that I was using online. It says an 1.25 inch boom will not work on 1296. Now, that's not a lost cause here, because I am still using this. I'm going to continue taking off the pieces, and I'm going to make another UHF Yagi. I got the 2-meter Yagi over there. I got the 440 over here that I used for the moonbounce project. And this is going to be another 440, but not circular polarized and not cross polarized. It's going to be a straight up linear Yagi. I'm still deciding. Leave your comments below. Should I put a regular dipole with a direct feed to on the 23 centimeters, or should I make a folded dipole? Looks like a loop. I've seen a lot of Yagis in commercial design have the loop. Now, when I change the values in the calculator, it doesn't give me much difference, if I understand it correctly, with a regular dipole feed or a loop, which is a folded dipole. I'm not sure what advantage I'm going to have. So my idea is to have as much gain as possible and as narrow bandwidth as possible. That's what I want. I mean, narrow beam width as possible. I don't need a wide bandwidth, because I'm not going to be doing ATV in the lower portion and then, EME in the other portion. I just want to stick to around 1296 with a very, very, short beam width or narrow beam width. So what I'm going to do with this, because I did print out 30 of these here. Okay. Now that was what I'm going to use for the element insulator. That's going to be attached to the boom here. The element's going to be on top. Again, the Yagi calculator, from what I learned, there's a whole different spacing and element length for if the boom has direct through, insulated, direct through, attached or electrically conducted to the boom, and then on top of the boom. 3 different ways you can do it, 3 different measurements. Now, here's my thought. All right, so I printed bunches of these out, and they're all pretty good, okay? I'm going to go for a square boom for the 23 centimeter this time. So I played with a couple of things here on, the 3D printer. I started with this one. Now, this would be a square boom element insulator, okay, with a hole in it where I could attach it. I mean, this one's bent a little on the edges. It didn't stick all the way to the bed plate, so I got to redo. Oh, I'm not even actually going to use this one. I'll show you why. So this would be, for instance, attached to a aluminum square tube with a sheet metal screw right through there to hold it, and then an element like 4 to 6 millimeters in diameter, kind of like this. All right, and that's how that would go, looking like that. The only problem with that is, at 23 centimeters, the elements are going to be like this. Picture this. I don't think I really want to have like that. You know what I mean? It's not going to be much sticking off the end there. It's a waste of plastic, and I don't know if that's going to react too much. So I came up with an idea, and then I went with this one. Now that is a lot simpler. This has, I had to clean up the print. That was a rough print with very low quality, 14 minutes. It's got the bevel, and it doesn't have a screw hole. So what I could do is, of course, that would be on like this, all right? Give more sticking out on the edge and free space, fit on the square boom. So I could either take this, put a drop of epoxy right onto that square boom. It'll be a tight fit as it is, and it'll stay there. Or should I run a screw you know, I could run a screw in the side. I'm not sure. I'd have to beef up the plastic on the 3D print in order to have enough meat there. You know, if I put a screw in the top here, that element's going to be all wonky. If I put a screw in the side, there's not enough meat right here in the side. See how thin it is? So I epoxy it out. But I could print, what I'm going for is a 30 element on 23 centimeters, which is going to be about a 7 foot 7/16 of an inch long at 30 elements. Any longer, because the square tubing I can get from Home Depot is about $30, $35, and it's 8 feet. I don't have scrap square tubing laying around. I was trying to do this as cheap as possible. The other idea I could have done was like this, you know, believe it or not, this is made by Radio Waves. Believe it or not, this cubicle quad, they call it the Quasar. I need to do some work on it. It works, but I need to do some work on it. Believe it or not, this is all 3D printed, right? So I could make a insulated boom, but I don't know, man. I'm just going for what I see a lot of these commercial manufacturers use: square aluminum tubing. And that's what I'm going to use. It's going to be very light. Those are light. This is about twice the weight of an actual Monopoly piece. I mean, it's nothing heavy at all. I can, you know, I could even print these out and make this for another UHF Yagi, or a 220 Yagi, or a 900 megahertz Yagi. I could do a lot of things with these little pieces here. But to start, that's what I'm going to use. These are not lost. That idea is not scrapped. It's just another idea. So, give me your comments on that. I like this better, and more element in the air, less touching on the... Somebody also said I should throw these parts in a microwave oven. And if they get hot, they're going to absorb some of that RF on 1296, and it's going to be no bueno. So tell me about that, because from my understanding, if I microwave this, it's going to get hot. I mean, I get it. I thought this was an insulator with plastic or PLA, but there might be something I don't know about that. So comment if you know about the electrical or RF conductivity of this at 1296 with a aluminum 4 or 6 meter round tube hollow on top of there as directors and a reflector and even a driven element. The driven element's going to be a piece of copper folded in a loop, a dipole. So take this and bend the sides around. That's going to be the feed point. So if you like this idea and you think this idea will work on the square boom, let me know. Until then, I'll have 2 projects going now. I did find on Amazon aluminum tubing, which would be a little bit bigger for the UHF. I'm not going to go this big. That's, I don't know, 1/2 inch right there. I don't want to use 1/2 inch on the UHF. I mean, I could get, I guess this is maybe 3/16 inch, but that's solid aluminum rod. I could use a lot of different things. I think the tubing is what a lot of the 1296 antennas use, and a lot of the UHF antennas I've seen have these. So there you go. Until next time, that's my update.